Welcome, Namaste, Namaskar. Welcome back to Jalprayag, and I'm going to continue on the same topic which I had made a video of in the last session. And if you look at it, it is your chart correction, and I'll call it part 2. Uh, we had initially started looking at the weekly notice to mariners. That is what we did in the last class. Just to remind you that video was 113. So in case you are newcomer and if you want the sequence of chart correction, paper chart correction, please watch 113 and come here because I'm going in a sequence. Let us continue from where we left. If you remember, I had done explanation of the initial part, which is your explanatory notes. And then we talked about the publication list, which are getting affected with a new edition this week. And then those list of charts and publication which uh, have some correction in this particular week. So we started with the permanent correction of charts. I explained you briefly how to go about correcting a paper chart permanently with a pen. Now I'm going to go to the next stage, and that was actually section 2. So section 2, I started with the paper chart correction, and that was permanent correction. But now I'm going to talk about TNP notice corrections and the block corrections. They are also in the same in the last part of your section 2. So let me show you example. Let us start with this TNP notices. What is temporary? It means it is something which is for a short term with a time limit, and you are supposed to do the correction in the paper chart only with pencil. I had mentioned this before also, so you have to only do with a pencil. And after a while, this may be deleted. So that is why it is of a temporary nature. That is the first idea of giving you this notice. Now, this could include something like a boat race, recreational boat race in an area, port area, or it could be a military exercise also. And if you remember when we were doing the boys, I had mentioned that for these purposes, you can have special mark boys being deployed to show the boundaries of those events. I'm showing you, I'm not exactly showing you what I told you, but I'm showing you one of the T notices. It is written 3960T. Now, this is of 2020, it doesn't matter. And you can see what is this notice. This notice is establishing a spoil ground area. Spoil ground area, for what reason? I'm not interested. This is a spoil ground area, and you should be careful depending on the depth up there, and particularly any underwater operation, including your anchorage. That something is important, very important for you. Please look at this. And he says that which charts are affected by this. So you are supposed to go and note down this area, and you should log it down on the bottom of the left bottom of the chart with pencil. Okay. Let us see what is the P correction, which is preliminary. The word itself tells you that it is something telling you about a start of some construction or something which is supposed to be shown to you in the chart. So particularly it's a construction or a new feature. Again, only with pencil on the paper chart. Now this preliminary, let us say you started constructing a bridge, jetty, or whatever it is. Initially, he'll give you as a P notice, Papa notice, and then later on it will become permanent. So what will happen is they will delete this as a P notice, and then after that they'll give you as a permanent correction. It could be with pen, or you could have a block also. We'll talk about the blocks slightly later. So one of the easiest examples are construction of a new jetty, pier, berth. I'm showing you something different uh, so that this is also one more example of a P. You see it is a preliminary notice, and you can see it's a uh, in force of two new TSS. So that also is a P notice. Why? Because it is coming on a particular date in force. So before that date, whatever I have to tell you, inform you about these things is called a P notice. It is a P notice. I will again go back to the block correction. These block corrections are permanent corrections. So you will be cutting and pasting it on your chart. So let us see a simple example. This block is coming under notice number and is valid for a chart number, and it tells you what is this. So this last big block I've shown you is what is you are supposed to cut it and paste it. This location is also given to you in your correction. Now next one could be a chart piece, a piece of a chart, and that also should be cut and paste. You can see here, this is a small piece. Now, this is the notice number which is getting involved with this, and this is your chart number. So I'm supposed to cut it and paste it. Let's go to the next section, which is section 3, which is your nav area warnings, navigation warning of nav area 1. And I'm going to show you a simple example. These corrections are to be filed. You cut it and make a file of it. Please don't paste anything. Okay. And it has to be noted in pencil inside your chart telling that this is your nav area warning. A simple example for that is, see, I've shown you, it's talking about seismic survey progress. So it is showing you what is happening with that seismic survey. It is telling you the length of the cables also and the number of cables. And one more thing of this could be a rig list. This also comes under the same category. So what is a rig list? Rig list means the rigs which are on short-term temporary basis. When I say short-term, let us not go on the time limit, but you can see these are the rigs operating in Norwegian Sea, and they will be changing the place so often. So you are supposed to know which rig is where. Otherwise, you will find as if it is an uncharted structure. And you can see whenever a new nav area warning comes, a previous one can be cancelled. So this is what it is. If you look at the bottom of the notes, see it clearly gives you a rig is protected by a 500-meter safety zone. You're not supposed to enter that zone without the permission of the rig. So have a some idea about how to approach a rig and all. Let's go for the next one, which is sailing direction or pilot volume corrections. Okay, sample exam. I'll show you a sample. These things are supposed to be cut and pasted in the document, original document itself. So a simple example is I'm showing you Africa Pilot Volume 3, and there is a small correction. You can see what is that correction. And that correction, you are supposed to cut it and paste it. Next one is your list of lights. Again, the same thing, very similar. These are also supposed to be cut and pasted in the original documents. Please see here. The first one is your NP 74, volume A. And let us say this is one of the light corrections. So I'll cut this piece completely and paste it on the original document. One small suggestion is whenever you cut and paste it, please paste it only on the one side so that you can see what is there below. You can cut if it is superseding an old light. So you can cut that with a strike, but please do not paste it as a whole. Why? Because sometimes it is going to obscure some valid lights also. So that is why my suggestion is paste it only on the left side. Keep the right side flappy and free so that you can see what is behind or below in the original documents. Let's go for ALRS. I'm giving you one example. Again, this is also cut and paste in the documents. I've shown you volume 2. And you can see there is a small correction in this Turkey. So you are supposed to cut it and please paste it. It gives you some MMSI number and all those things, AIS number, whatever it is. And one of the last in this section is your section 7, which is your miscellaneous. In the last session, remember I had shown you a big list of miscellaneous and one of them was NP 100. So this also has to be cut and pasted on the documents. So here I marked NP 100. So some of the corrections are there. Please paste it. Now the majority of the corrections which are needed in your weekly notice to mariners is over. But before I wind up only in the weekly notice to mariner, in the last section, you will always find something called hydrographic note. It's an important document. Let us see what is the purpose. Idea is for the user to report to Admiralty regarding any port information, which maybe has changed, which was not observed before, and it will affect your publication. You can use this to report a new danger also, any changes to aid to navigation also, you can do it. This is your sample. There are two forms, 102A and 102. I'm showing you. See, on the top itself, it is written to before this block. Can you just see on the top? It's written to accompany form H102. So this is 102A. It should accompany 102. I'm going to show you that 102 in the next slide. What is it? It is asking what is the change you have seen regarding general remarks, regarding anchorage, regarding pilotage, anything if you have seen, please make a note of this. And he tells you small instructions also. You see here, instruction, he says, new suspected danger. If discovered any changes to aid to navigation or correction to publication, which is necessary, important for the mariner. And this is your H102. So you're supposed to fill this and give the first form also. This mainly talks about your sender or the ship, and then your contact details. Then it tells you that what all documents were affected. You can see Admiralty chart affected, what is the addition, and all those things you can write. And one of the things important for you, for emergency information affecting safety of life at sea, forwarded to email address. This is what is written. So this is almost the last page of your weekly notice to mariners. So as far as the weekly notice mariners correction is there, we are done with that part. The problem is I need two more sessions to complete the whole idea of chart correction. As I said, I have not gone too deep also. I need one more session. I will talk in the next session regarding your cumulative notice, your annual summary to notice, and your NM web search. I'll show you screenshot by screenshot how you can go and get these documents. And the next one more session, I said two I want. The second session after this, I need it exclusively on your NP294, which tells you what all corrections are there and how to do it on the directly on the chart. Why you should know that? Because that is being asked in the written exam. So you need to do correction in the exam also. That usually comes on the last question for your second mate level. And there's a compulsory question. You can't skip it also. That's it for today. As I said, I'll come back soon with two more videos that will wind up the whole chart correction process itself. So keep watching Jal Prayag. Until then, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskar.